So Alberta just decided to fix something nobody asked them to fix, and honestly, it might actually work. Welcome back to Canadian Insights, where we cover Canadian politics faster than the Flames can disappoint their fans. Today we're talking about Alberta's shiny new police watchdog, and before you click away thinking this is another boring bureaucracy story, stick around because this one's actually got some teeth. Maybe. Possibly. We'll see if they use them. Let's set the scene. 4 years, Alberta's police oversight system has been about as organized as a house party at 3 in the morning. You had multiple agencies handling complaints, different police forces investigating themselves, which is always a great idea with zero conflicts of interest, and citizens trying to navigate this maze like they're competing in some sadistic game show where the prize is basic accountability. Fun times for everyone involved, except literally everyone involved. But now, Public Safety Minister Mike Ellis has rolled out the Police Review Commission, and is promising this is going to change everything. One body to rule them all, one body to find them, one body to bring transparency and in the oversight bind them. Okay, Tolkien probably didn't envision his epic fantasy being used to describe provincial police reform, but here we are in 2024, making it work. The commission officially started operations, which means Alberta has gone from having a patchwork quilt of oversight agencies that looked like your grandmother made it after a few too many glasses of wine, to having one centralized organization. The idea is simple. You've got a complaint about police conduct? You go to one place. That complaint needs investigating? Same place handles it. Disciplinary hearing required? You guessed it, still the same place. It's almost like having a centralized system makes things easier. Revolutionary concept, really groundbreaking stuff. Mike Ellis stood up at his news conference on Monday looking like a kid who finally organized his room after his mom threatened to ground him, talking about how this improves transparency, accountability, and consistency. And you know what? He might actually be onto something here, even if it took Alberta long enough to figure out what other jurisdictions learned years ago. Better late than never, as they say, which is also the motto of the Edmonton Oilers' playoff hopes every single year. Here's where it gets interesting though. The commission isn't just shuffling papers around. They've set up a 3-tier system for assessing complaints, which sounds fancy but basically means they've finally figured out that a noise complaint and an officer-involved death probably shouldn't be handled the same way. Shocking insight, truly. The lowest level covers non-criminal misconduct, the kind of stuff that's unprofessional but not necessarily criminal. Think officer being rude, not following procedure, that sort of thing. Then you've got your mid-level complaints which are more serious but still not at the top of the severity scale. And finally, the heavy hitters, the serious cases involving deaths and major incidents where things have gone catastrophically wrong. Having these different levels means resources can be allocated properly instead of treating everything like it's the same priority, which is what happens when you let organizations self-police. Spoiler alert, organizations investigating themselves tend to find themselves innocent. Weird how that works. Now here's the part that's going to make some people nervous and others feel slightly more confident. The commission has former police officers on staff. Ellis made a point of highlighting this, saying you need people with actual on-the-job experience who understand how investigations work from the inside. And he's not wrong. You can't effectively oversee something you don't understand, and policing is complicated. It's not just watching Rookie Blue reruns and thinking you've got the whole system figured out. And this is a massive but the size of the Alberta legislature building, having cops investigate cops has historically been as effective as asking a toddler to judge whether they deserve a timeout. The credibility issue is real. The public sees former officers investigating current officers and thinks great, the fox is guarding the henhouse, except the fox went to police academy with the other foxes and they all vacation together in Banff. Ellis tried to get ahead of this concern by emphasizing that the commission operates independently from policing organizations. Independent, separate, unbiased, all the words you say when you're trying to convince people that yes, really, we mean it this time. The success of this whole operation is going to come down to whether that independence is real or just performance art. Because Albertans have seen enough political theater to last a lifetime, thank you very much. The transparency angle is crucial here. For too long, police oversight in Alberta has been murkier than the North Saskatchewan River after spring runoff. Citizens file complaints and then what? Information disappears into a black hole, investigations take forever, outcomes aren't explained, and people are left wondering if anything actually happened or if their complaint was printed out and used as coffee coasters at the police station. Not exactly confidence-inspiring. A single body handling everything means there's one place to point fingers at when things go wrong, which is either going to make accountability much better or give us one really big target to yell at. Time will tell which way that goes. But at least in theory, having consistent decision-making processes across the province means a complaint in Calgary should be handled the same way as a complaint in Peace River. Novel concept, treating citizens equally regardless of postal code. The real test isn't going to be the press conference or the fancy organizational charts or Mike Ellis standing there talking about how great this is going to be. The test is going to be what happens when serious complaints roll in. When an officer crosses the line, when use of force questions arise, when communities are demanding answers, will this commission actually deliver? Or will it become just another bureaucratic buffer between citizens and accountability, a slightly more organized version of the mess that came before? Because here's the thing about police oversight. It's not just about having a system in place. It's about that system having teeth. It's about investigations being thorough, timely, and transparent. It's about disciplinary measures actually meaning something instead of being the equivalent of a stern talking to followed by business as usual. It's about the public being able to trust that when something goes wrong, there are real consequences and real accountability. Alberta's taken a step forward by consolidating oversight into one commission. That's progress. Having different levels of complaint assessment shows someone actually thought about this instead of just slapping a new name on old problems. Including experienced officers provides necessary expertise. Promising independence addresses legitimate concerns about bias. But promising and delivering are two very different things, kind of like the difference between campaign promises and actual governance. Canadians know that gap well. The Police Review Commission is operational now, which means the clock is ticking. Albertans are watching. Civil liberties groups are watching. Police forces themselves are probably watching and either hoping this works or quietly dreading actual accountability depending on who you ask. The Commission has the structure, the mandate, and the public attention. What happens next determines whether this becomes a legitimate improvement to police oversight or just another chapter in the long history of saying the right things while changing very little. So there you have it, Alberta's new police watchdog is officially on duty, promising to bring order to the chaos of oversight and accountability to a system that desperately needs it. Will it work? Ask me in a year when we've seen how they handle their first major controversy. For now, it's cautiously optimistic with a heavy emphasis on the cautious part. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe to Canadian Insights because we're covering Canadian politics daily with the same energy you bring to complaining about gas prices. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me whether you think this commission will actually make a difference or if it's just bureaucratic reshuffling, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll probably be discussing whatever political chaos Alberta or another province has cooked up by then. Because in Canadian politics, there's always something brewing, and we're here to break it down faster than question period can avoid answering questions. See you next time.